You know, Stephen became the first martyr of the church.
Come on.
A few minutes after he said that. And a stiff-necked person is one who says, you're not changing the way I'm viewing this thing. Proverbs 13:18, poverty and shame will come to him who neglects reproof, but he who regards reproof will be honored. He who regards reproof will be honored.
Come on.
You know, they tell us that Abraham Lincoln had a truly humble way about him. You know his story. He grew up very humble. He grew up in a log cabin. He wasn't formally educated like some of the East Coast people at all the colleges there on the East Coast. He grew up, quite humbly, but the book that he did read was the Bible, and it gave him this wisdom. I'm sure he loved the book of Proverbs, and so he had this way of viewing himself that was what they call self-deprecating. You know what self-deprecation means? That means that you can, you don't think too highly of yourself. You can make fun of yourself, right? And if somebody jokes about you, you don't get all bent out of shape, you know? And so Lincoln was known for this quality, and it helped him in politics. They would tell him, do you know what so-and-so has said about you? And he would say things like, well, generally he's right, you got to admit, you know? That's the way you respond when you hear something like that? You hear what they said about you? You say, yeah, well, generally, you got to admit he's right most of the time, so, you know. What? You said what? He did what? Well, let me tell you something about him. Let me tell you something about her that you didn't know. The reason she said that, because, you know. A few more verses out of Proverbs. Poverty and shame will come to him who neglects reproof, and he who regards reproof will be honored. You see a pattern here? Proverbs 12:1 says it pretty plainly. He who hates, this is, I don't know what translation this is, I know it's not the Old King James, but Proverbs 12:1 said, he who hates correction is stupid. Even the Bible's running out of words to describe people. It said, I don't know, it's put him stupid, you know. Let's move on very quickly before I stop. The good fruit of a right response. Proverbs 10. He who keeps instruction is in the way of life. That scripture, again, verse 31. He who hears the rebukes of life will abide among the wise. Sometimes life itself, it doesn't even have to come out of the mouth of a person. Just life itself will rebuke you. Sometimes if you're speeding, God will use a highway patrolman to rebuke you.
Come on.
Or you get into an accident with your car, or something happens, and if you're paying attention, it can kind of be rebuked to something you're doing or thinking.
Come on.
But there's good fruit of a right response. Again, he who regards a rebuke, Proverbs 13:18, will be honored. And so, you need friends that will be honest with you. That's part of friendship. Faithful, the scripture says, are the wounds of a friend. A friend is not just somebody who tells you what you want to hear all the time.
Come on.
Again, I'm not, we know the balance, I hope, with what I'm saying. Friends are there to encourage you. That's what a friend desires to do. They're not there to put you down. Sometimes people don't even know who their friends are. But one of the qualities of a friend is that they will tell you the truth. They will speak truth into your life. They will be honest with you. Not because they want the worst for you, because they want the best for you. Sometimes they might not even be exactly right on how they're saying it, or what they even see, or what they don't understand, but you can still take it as something that will help you. And anytime you see somebody that's really become good at something, excellent at something, I don't care if it's in the arts, I don't care if it's in athletics, I don't care what it is. If somebody's gotten really good to the point of being excellent, you've got to know they have taken a lot of criticism along the way. They have opened up their life to people who maybe they were teachers or coaches or somebody, and that input has helped them get to that level. That's why you can be as talented as the day is long. You can have all the gifts, you can even have the will, but there's something about having a coach. There's something about having a person that's there to speak into your life. Some of the highest paid people in our economy are what they call consultants. All a consultant is somebody who has enough experience and wisdom in a certain field to bring that to bear upon what somebody else is doing. Same idea. Proverbs again, 27. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. And so the right response is an awareness that this can be a tremendous blessing in your life. A couple of things as we have a right response, and I'll stop. Consider the source. Okay? Obviously, this is a very important one. Is the person qualified by their knowledge and experience? Is their perspective pretty good? You know, in other words, if somebody's trying to give you instruction on marriage or child rearing, are they married? Do they have children? That might be a good place to start. So obviously, this is not just some receiving from anybody, anywhere, anything. And in the Christian life, do they have maturity? Do they have fruitfulness in their life? Galatians 6, talking about helping people who've fallen or stumbled, it says, you who are spiritual, reach out to that one. You who are spiritual, restore that one in a spirit of meekness. Somebody is overtaken by a fault, then there's a qualification that somebody who has, first of all, they have a desire to help this person. That's why they're involved. But they're able to bring them to some kind of healing and help. You can also determine the accuracy of somebody. Is what they're saying accurate? And so maybe if they're off base a little, then there could be a conversation, or there could be, kind of come to an understanding, but it's certainly an important thing to consider. Let me just say one more thing before I stop. I don't think it's good to be promiscuous. That word's used in another realm. But with regard to criticism, you haven't been put on this earth to be the ultimate critic. Okay? I think, appreciate you preaching that, Pastor Ruby. I got a bunch of things that I want to tell people. No, if you are one who's going to bring an unpleasant truth or something, you got to be prayerful. You got to be spiritual. You got to have a real heart concern. First thing you might want to ask yourself is, does it need to be said? Some of it sounds just unnecessary. And what's your motivation? And so we ought to do that with thoughtfulness and prayerfulness and go slowly in that area. Only valid reason to bring constructive criticism is for positive change and help. That means we have the person's best interests at heart. We want to see them excel and do well. Another thing that's important, the Apostle Paul was very good at this one, is that it should be what you would call a criticism sandwich. What do you mean by that? Well, that means to make it edible, to make it something that make it palatable and edible. The criticism's in there, but you got to have some tasty bread on the outside. You get some good. I like bread. I don't eat too much of it. I like bread. And if you have really good bread, you can put just about anything in there. Come on. That's good enough. A good tortilla, same thing. Well, the idea is the sandwich method, so if there's constructive criticism, maybe you need to put 2 slices of praise and encouragement in there too. The Apostle Paul was great at doing that. You're doing great, you're doing this. Oh, yeah, by the way. That's a skill. And that's a tremendous way of doing that. sometimes people, they'll start eating the bread and then, you spit it out, like it's spam. I don't like spam. But some people eat nothing ever, and that's just the way it is. And so, whether it's preaching, whether it's a person, whether it's life itself, trying to bring instruction and correction, we're all sinners. We all have hearts that drift. We all have lives that want to believe our own ideas and our own truth and make our own thoughts our idols. And so this is a very crucial part of moving through God. Amen. Let's bow our heads.